To the race for the White House, Vice President Kamala Harris and Tim Walz hitting the road in the battleground state of Georgia for a second day as Donald Trump gets ready to blitz critical swing states. Our chief White House correspondent Mary Bruce is on the trail in Savannah, Georgia. Mary, good morning.
Hey, Wick, good morning. Well, the Harris campaign sees real opportunity here in Georgia. They are hoping to expand the map, put this key state firmly back in play, now with less than 70 days to go. This morning, Kamala Harris is gaining ground in the critical Sun Belt states. Harris and running mate Tim Walz boarding their campaign bus in Georgia, a state where Donald Trump has been leading. But this morning, a new Fox News poll shows Harris now up by 2 points. That poll also suggesting she's closing the gap in Arizona, Nevada, and North Carolina. In battleground Georgia, a state President Biden won narrowly in 2020, Harris and Walz reaching out to rural voters, hoping for a repeat victory. In Hinesville, greeted by the Liberty County High School Marching Band.
My previous job to this was, of course, public school teacher and coach, which I wear with pride.
Walz leaning into his own rural roots in Minnesota. His experience as a social studies teacher and former high school football coach now central to their campaign message. The ticket then stopping for barbecue in Savannah, out shaking hands and snapping selfies. Harris well aware she can't just rely on those urban centers like Atlanta in a race expected to be so close. Trump also hitting key states targeting the Rust Belt, today in Michigan and Wisconsin, before heading to must-win Pennsylvania. Now here in Georgia today, Kamala Harris and Tim Walz will sit down together for their first big interview of this campaign. They have been facing criticism for not doing a formal press conference or an in-depth interview. And then looking ahead to the coming days, Harris is expected to be spending a fair amount of time in debate prep. Of course, her first face-off with Donald Trump coming up right here on ABC on September 10th, with just 12 days away.
That will be a pivotal moment. And Mary, while we have you, tell us about this criticism Trump is facing about a recent visit to Arlington National Cemetery. His team accused of recording video in a prohibited area. Veteran families now reacting to this?
Yeah, so this video shows the president visiting some of the grave sites of some of the 13 service members who were killed in that attack on Abbey Gate in Afghanistan. Trump trying to highlight Harris and this administration's handling of that chaotic troop withdrawal. But filming in this area of the cemetery is prohibited just for this reason, to not politicize the military. Now, some families like that of Staff Sergeant Ryan Knauss say they give Trump permission. They say it's sad to restrict how the fallen are honored. But overnight, we heard from another Gold Star family, the sister of Sergeant Andrew Marcassano, who died by suicide in 2020 after 8 tours of combat. His grave is also shown in this Trump video, and she says, quote, "We hope that those visiting this sacred site understand that these were real people who sacrificed for our freedom and that they are honored and respected accordingly." Now, the Harris campaign has responded to this. They suggest this behavior is just typical for Donald Trump. They say it shows that he's only out for himself, but J.D. Vance firing back at that criticism, using some charged language, saying that Kamala Harris, the sitting vice president, quote, "can go to hell."